participants, it is back at the post-study work route is back. Hello, my dearest friends. Svetlana Shlapak, the founder of UK Visa Success.com is here. So the route is about to be officially open from 1st of July 2021. But not many of you know that this is the second attempt to introduce this particular route. So the first one happened in 2004. It was officially open for the STEM students, and then the rules got eventually relaxed and it became available to all graduates. And unfortunately, the route was closed in 2011 because the Home Office said that around 39,000 students applied with 8,000 dependents at the time, when 1 in 10 graduate students were unemployed. So they've closed it in 2011, only to open it 10 years later. As you will see, the rules are absolutely beautiful. They're very clearly defined, and the purpose of this particular video to guide you through the structure of the appendix graduate. So let us begin.
The rules governing post-study work visas are contained at Appendix Graduate, and today we'll concentrate on three key elements of the graduate route, which will help you avoid the refusal of your post-study work visa application. And in order to succeed in your post-study work visa application, you'll need to meet only three requirements. And here they are. First, we have the validity requirements. Then we have the suitability requirements, and finally, all applicants, in order to succeed in their applications, will need to meet the eligibility requirements. And guys, to help you understand these routes better, I've also created a very simple to read and understand mind map, and you can get access to this mind map within 16 seconds if you click the link below. It's completely free, and it's the access is going to be instant. Okay, so let us start with the validity requirements. We have a few steps to follow when meeting the validity requirements. So first of all, to meet the validity requirements, you should start by completing the correct form, and the form is called Graduate, and it will be available from the .gov.uk website somewhere near 1st of July 2021. And then all applicants will need to follow a certain procedure. So first of all, they'll need to pay, of course, the fee for making such an application. And secondly, they will need to pay the immigration health surcharge. As some of you may know, the immigration health surcharge has two rates. The full rate, which is £624 per year. And also we have the discounted rate. The discounted rate is for students, youth mobility scheme visa holders, and children under the age of 18 at the time of application. And although the Home Office did not specify the rate for making this application, so we are not quite sure whether the immigration health surcharge will be at the full rate or at the discounted rate, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be at the rate of £624 per year. So if someone wants to follow the graduate route, they will need to pay presumably a fee of £1,248. Then we have biometrics. Within approximately 1 month after submitting your application, you are likely to be asked to provide your fingerprints and a photo of yourself. So in other words, you'll need to provide your biometrics information. And if you're applying as a student, as a graduate student, chances are you already follow this procedure and you are very well aware as to how to do it. So you need to have a digital photo taken of your face and put your fingers on a glass screen to be scanned. And this process takes roughly 5 minutes and does not involve any ink or mass. So usually you need to go to the UK Visa and Citizenship application services, or you can also do this at the Service and Support Center. Alternatively, you can provide your biometrics at any participating post office branch. And of course, with the application, you will be expected to submit your passport, which will confirm your nationality, your identity, and also you will need to provide a number of supporting documents which will prove that you meet the eligibility requirements. Also, all applicants will need to be in the UK, so their last grant will need to be a student grant. So if you were in the UK as a student and then you switch to another immigration category, unfortunately you cannot apply as a graduate student. So this one is only available for those whose last permission to remain in the UK is that of a student. The next one, we have a very standard scholarship awards grant. So this rule confirms that those who were awarded a scholarship or sponsorship by a government or international scholarship agency, they will need to provide a written consent from the awarding body confirming that they are agreeable to you making this application. And this is it. This is provided you follow these requirements, you will easily meet the validity requirements. If you don't meet the validity requirements, the application will not be refused, it will be rejected as invalid. So the next one, the next requirement to meet is called the Suitability Requirements. Guys, I would like to draw attention to a few things here. First of all, in order for someone to meet the suitability requirements, they will need to prove that they do not fall for refusal under Part 9 grounds for refusal of the immigration rules. And if you go to Part 9 of the immigration rules, you'll notice that there is a very specific wording of the suitability requirements. So in some paragraphs, they say that the application will be refused, and in certain applications, they just say the application may be refused. What does it mean? It means that there are two types of suitability requirements, and they are known as mandatory and discretionary. So when you see the wording the application will be refused, it means that the suitability ground is a mandatory one. So this means that the decision maker has no choice and will refuse your application if you've triggered one of the mandatory suitability grounds. However, if you see the wording may be refused, it means that the decision maker has a choice and they can either allow or refuse your application. But guys, if you think that you may be affected by one of the discretionary suitability requirements, I strongly suggest that you take steps in order to make sure that you correct it and you are, when at the time of applying, you are not caught by any of the general grounds for refusal. And the second rule with regards to the suitability requirements is that the person will need to remain in the UK lawfully. So in other words, that their visa has not expired at the time of making the application. There are tiny exceptions which are described at paragraph 39E, and they're mainly about a person who submitted their application within 14 days of the expiry of their leave, and they had a very good reason for doing so. For example, they were at the hospital, or they were not well, and they have a very solid confirmation of that, or where there was a bereavement of a close family member, or when COVID concessions apply. And if someone is on immigration bail, unfortunately, they will not be successful on the suitability requirements. So these were our suitability requirements to meet. And the final third key element to successful application in a post-study route is known as the eligibility requirements. So the eligibility requirements are the unique features of your application. The graduate route will be a part of the UK's new points-based immigration system, and all applicants under the new points-based immigration system will need to score 70 points. So to score 70 points under the graduate route, you'll need to prove the following three requirements. So first of all, you'll need to prove that you have successfully completed the course. Secondly, that you meet the qualification requirements. And finally, that you meet the study in the UK requirements. And let me explain what they mean. So let us begin with the successful completion requirement. So the successful completion requirement consists of three elements. The first one is the university or college, which is also known as your sponsor, where you studied, will need to have a track record of of compliance on the date of the application. What does it mean? Well, this means that your sponsor complied with all the duties which the Home Office entrusted it with. So this particular element is entirely beyond your control, so it's entirely for your university or your college to meet. So the second one we have is when you have successfully completed the course of study, and this will need to be undertaken during the last grant of your permission to study on the student route. So as you can see, you need to prove two aspects here: that first of all, you graduated from the university, and secondly, that your last visa was a student visa. And finally, the sponsor has notified the Home Office that you have successfully completed the course. So first of all, you'll need to be a UK registered and recognized sponsor. Secondly, you have indeed completed the course, and finally your sponsor confirmed it. Now moving on to the qualification requirements. The Home Office will accept three types of qualifications. So first of all, a UK bachelor degree, secondly a UK postgraduate degree, and finally any of the following 6 courses. So a law conversion course validated by the Joint Academic Stage Board in England and Wales, the legal practice course in England and Wales, the solicitor's course in Northern Ireland, or a diploma in professional legal practice in Scotland, the bar practice course in England and Wales, or the bar course in Northern Ireland, a foundation program in medicine or dentistry, a postgraduate certificate in education or a postgraduate diploma in education, and finally a professional course requiring study at UK bachelor's degree level or above in a profession with reserved activities regulated by UK law or UK public authority. And the final requirement is called study in the UK requirements. These requirements will help the UKVI check if you spend sufficient time in the UK while studying. It may sound complicated, but trust me, it's not. Just stay with me and I'll show you why it is very simple. And guys, as you will see in just a moment, they did insert several COVID-19 concessions. So if your course was for 12 months or less, you should have spent the entire time studying in the UK. And if your course was for more than 12 months, then you need to prove that you studied in the UK for at least 12 months. So the COVID-19 concession provisions clarify that even if you were overseas from 24th of January 2020 to 27th of September 2021, this time would still be regarded as spent in the UK. So for COVID-19 concession to kick in, you need to show that your course began in 2020 and you entered the UK on or before 21st of June 2021. And if your course commenced in 2021, you should have entered the UK before 27th of September 2021. And whether or not your course started in 2020 or 2021, they make it very clear that you should still be completing it while your student visa is still valid. And the COVID-19 concessions are much more generous if your course of study was for longer than 12 months. As in this case, any period of time which you spent outside the UK between 24th of January 2020 to 27th of September 2021 will be completely disregarded. And these were our 3 requirements, 3 key elements of a successful graduate visa application. So in the decisions section, they say that if the application is not successful, you will not have a right of appeal, but you will be entitled to apply for an administrative review. And if the application is successful, those who are here with a PhD will be allowed to remain for another 3 years, and those with a bachelor degree or a postgraduate degree will be allowed to remain here for 2 years. And there will be, as always, certain conditions imposed on their stay. As always, no recourse to public funds, and they will be allowed to work, including being self-employed, and also they will be allowed to do some voluntary work. Apart from working as a professional sports person, they will be allowed to study with some tiny exceptions, and if Part 10 of the immigration rules apply, they will need to register with the police. And guys, there is one more provision about the dependents, but this is outside the scope of this video. So if you're interested, you are very welcome to explore the appendix graduate further. And this was a very simple and very clear structure of appendix graduate. Once again, if you would like to know more, or if you would like to have a mind map summary of this route, you are very welcome to request it by clicking the link below. I would like to invite you to visit this page, ukvisasuccess.com/more, where you'll find plenty of free immigration resources explaining various immigration rules. And I also invite you to subscribe to a new, very, very succinct and short newsletter where I'll be updating you on various changes in the world of UK immigration law, and also I will be sending various exclusive invitations to the members of ukvisasuccess.com community. You'll only be able to get these offers if you are subscribed to this newsletter. Have an amazing week, guys.